Hi, David Odell here with Odell Complete Concrete. This is part 3 of a 4-part series. If you've probably seen the staircase already. Now this is the retaining wall add-on. Here's the existing retaining wall. We're going to be adding one course to all these retaining walls. The lower one, the upper one. And what I'm going to do is show you how to add on there so that they won't come off. Also how to stucco and match stucco. Epoxy dowels into the existing walls. We're going to do a bond beam across the top block, fill it solid with concrete. We're going to remove all this wrought iron because I have to raise the block up. So basically I've got to take the wrought iron down and then put it back on top of the new course, so it's going to be raised. This whole fence is going to be raised 8 inches now from where it's at. The reason we're raising this wall is because the hillside is, you know, over the years it's built up and it's starting to come over that block, so 8 inches is going to make a big difference. There's a gate here and there's another gate on the other end. As we started messing with the gates, I noticed they were coming loose off the wall, so we refastened those to the walls. We had to weld some extensions on those wrought iron rails, not rails but fence. We had to add some extensions, weld some extensions on, set them down into the new wall, and grout them in. Use a non-shrink grout on that, but we'll show all that too. So the first project is cleaning up the area, the first step. Here's the reciprocating saw from DeWalt, battery powered. We're going to loosen this up. Instead of taking the entire railing off in one shot, I'm going to break it down into some sections so it's easier to handle. When this goes back up, I'll have to re-weld these spots where I've just cut through. That post that the gate's hanging from can stay there for the time being. Now what I'll do is I'll just clean up behind the wall and in front of it, cut some bushes down. I'm going to take the dirt down a couple inches behind the wall. The reason I'm going to do that is because I want to bring a waterproofing down on the back of that wall, you know, past the seam. Here's the 8/8/16 blocks. They're all bond beam. In other words, the top of the block has that hollowed out area. That's where your rebar and your concrete goes all the way across. And this is your mortar mix, just a type S mortar. Just going to mix it by hand. It doesn't work real well in a standard concrete mixer because it sticks to the sides. You could do it in a paddle mixer, but it's easy just to mix it by hand. I like to use a trenching shovel. It's easier to turn the mud. Some people like to use hose on that. I like to flip it with a trenching shovel. Here we are adding the block. First I'm going to add on top of this. Then what I'll do is I'll drill every couple of feet. I'll drill a vertical rod into the top of the existing, and then I'll clean the hole with pressurized air, brush it, clean it, and epoxy those in, but we'll get to that later. So that's how you butter up the ends of these blocks to get a good header on. I set 2 blocks on either end to start with, then I pull my line. Would have been easier if I put the line to the back of this wall actually, but I don't know why I put it to the front. But there had to be some reason that I don't remember. I'm just cross-checking it with the level here and there to make sure that I'm staying level. So I don't want it to be on a different angle than the existing wall, because then you're going to see a transition when I go to stucco. There's my chicken legs holding the line. And that's an adjustable one, so I can go all the way down to a 6-inch all the way up to a 10-inch block with those. This is just part of what we're going to be adding to. So this is how I set the line. I just randomly selected a place down the wall, drop a block on there, and tie a line to it. Now I'm setting the line to the back of the wall. I guess I figured it out by this point that it's easier this way. Instead of having to lift it over the line and drop it, I just push it up against it. Saves me about 8 inches of lift height this way. When I get ready to stucco this, I'm using the same material that I'm using to set this, the mortar. I'm going to use that on the face of the block to bring it out flush with the existing. And then after that cures out a few days, then I'm going to put the stucco mix over that to get the texture. And it's going to all be painted at some point, so it'll all match. Now the posts that were going down to the wall, you notice how I taped them off here? Because those go down about 8 inches further into this existing wall. And I'm just going to extend up from those with an inside square pipe that'll fit on the inside of the old railing. Now here we are drilling. We just broke out the Hilti with we're doing 1/2 inch dowels on this, 1/2 inch diameter. And the length, we're going to go in 6 inches, and we'll just extend up probably about 6 inches. So we need 12-inch long dowels, 1/2 inch diameter. Now after they're all drilled, we're going to use the compressed air, clean them, and we're going to also brush it. I put a little temporary retainer, see that 2x8 with the steel stake? That way when we dug out behind this wall, we could just throw the dirt up rather than down. And then we just have to release those stakes and the dirt's going to automatically fall back in place. There's the air compressor, and there's your brush to clean out your holes. Now once you get it good and clean, the epoxy is going to really bond well. Actually, this top course may be reinforcing the entire wall with this particular system. We don't know how they did the existing wall, but we know how we did this one. So we've got 2 bars coming across the top, solid grouted with epoxy rebar dowels. Even though we're going higher, it actually may be stronger than it was originally. We got a nice little competition coming up. We're going to use the right angle grinder DeWalt against the Milwaukee and see which one cuts the fastest. Hey, that was a tie. Do it again.
That was bad. I feel like I'm not getting a good grip on this.
You gotta hold it on your toe like that too. Stabilize the bar. You gotta stabilize the bar. Ready? Next. Go. This thing's really eating you up now. That's faster. Oh yeah, let's switch it.
I think it's me.
Let's see if it's operator. Operator error. Could be operator error, you're right. Okay, ready? Go!
How'd you cut that one? Hey, cut it? Let me see how you hold it.
Ready?
I think it's because you go more at a down angle with this saw. You hold it like going down, almost.
Maybe.
Right.
Or I'm pushing harder. I'll put nice steady pressure into it.
Yeah, I think that's. I don't know. Here, I'm gonna practice more with that one though.
So what we learned here today on this particular little competitive cutting of the rebar is that all tools work well, but it really is dependent on the operator. So with experience and things of that nature, an operator can make a bad tool good. So the tools aren't that crucial, in other words. They do make the job easier though, that's for sure. Here's the type of epoxy we'll be using, Set XP from Simpson. Now I put the tip all the way down, that way we don't have too much excess, because that tip is displacing some of the area. Now we'll just drop a rebar all the way down and we're ready to fill it up solid. Now what I'll do when I actually place the concrete for the staircases and we have the pumper out here, I'll go ahead and pump this out as well. All that's left to do is get my inside square pipes stubbed up and out of the top of this block, sliding into the existing, and then we're ready to grout. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you stay tuned for part 4. That'll be the final part to the series. If you haven't seen part 1 and 2, it's very interesting because it's the form setting of a curved staircase up this hillside, and part 2 is the actual concrete placement. Anyway, have a good day.